Introduction. Welcome to our channel. In this video, we will delve into the world of history and art that characterizes one of the oldest and most distinguished civilizations on Earth, ancient Egyptian art. From the towering pyramids to the awe-inspiring statues of gods, we will explore how ancient Egyptian art reflected the foundations and concerns of this great civilization. If you're interested in history and ancient art, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell to stay updated with all our latest content. Egyptian art, symbolism and a consistent style. At the heart of the Nile Valley, where ancient Egyptian civilization arose, art was a means of connecting life and death, expressing beliefs, and maintaining social order. This art began around 3000 BCE and lasted until 30 BCE. Over thousands of years, ancient Egyptian art evolved to reflect a deep diversity in styles and perspectives. Yet, despite all the changes, Egyptian art remained distinct in its message and purpose, preserving order and the connection with the gods. Ancient Egyptian art was rich in symbolism. In painting and sculpture, symbols were the primary language. Figures were always depicted in fixed proportions, the body shown in profile, with the head and upper torso shown from the front. This method, known as the hieratic scale, displayed characters according to their importance. The king or god was depicted larger than other figures in the artwork. Additionally, the colors used had symbolic meanings. Blue represented fertility, black symbolized life created by the Nile, and gold was considered the flesh of the gods. Moreover, ancient Egyptian art was heavily influenced by religious beliefs. The symbolism in artworks went beyond shapes and colors, including natural elements like stars and the sun as symbols of gods and eternity. Art had a significant religious function, aiming to meet the needs of the gods and ensure the afterlife for humans. Painting, another life behind the walls. Let's go back in time, when tombs and temples were filled with paintings that depicted another life. These paintings aimed to ensure a comfortable and happy afterlife for the deceased. They reflected scenes from the life of the deceased, such as fishing or sailing, as well as images of gods accompanying them on their journey through the afterlife. The paintings were done on walls using natural colors like blue, green, and yellow, depicting static images without the depth seen in modern art. They also featured recurring scenes of daily rituals, such as farming, harvesting, and herding, as though life would continue in the afterlife. The use of colors was not just aesthetic but had deep symbolic meaning. Blue was associated with fertility and the river, while yellow symbolized eternity and the sun. Furthermore, the images did not show any kind of movement or temporal depth, as Egyptian art aimed to portray life as it should be in the afterlife, fixed, complete, and perfect. Sculpture, from giant statues to small figurines in sculpture, the Egyptians excelled in creating massive statues of gods and pharaohs, such as the statues of Ramses II at Abu Simbel. However, these large statues were not the only ones. There were also smaller statues made from materials like wood and alabaster, used as offerings to the gods or placed in tombs to accompany the deceased in the afterlife. Despite the varying styles, Egyptian artists adhered to strict rules in representing the gods, which kept Egyptian art consistent in form for thousands of years. The statues often depicted pharaohs in stable, powerful poses, reflecting leadership and devotion to the gods. The gods were portrayed in forms that represented wisdom, like Thoth, or protection, like Horus. These statues represented the values of ancient Egyptian society in worshipping the gods and showing great respect for their kings, who were seen as living gods. The artist's duty was to embody that divine image as perfectly as possible. Pottery and ceramics, the magic of colors and daily life details. Pottery and ceramics had a significant place in ancient Egyptian art, used to create small amulets and decorated vessels, like perfume jars. The Egyptians used faience, made from silica, to produce small pieces in various colors, which made them affordable and attractive to the ancient Egyptians. Pottery was used not only in daily life but also in burial rituals, where ceramic pieces were placed in tombs, decorated with inscriptions bearing the names and titles of the deceased. Archaeologists have discovered different types of pottery in tombs, including strange items like vessels containing parts of the human body, such as the liver or lungs, a common practice in mummification rituals. As for faience, which was made from silica and natural minerals like natron, it was used to make small decorative jars, often in the distinctive blue color associated with fertility and life. Moreover, these small items, such as amulets and decorated vessels, were not only used in daily life but also had a religious and spiritual purpose. They were considered tools for protection from evil spirits and ensuring the afterlife. Architecture, the grandeur of pyramids and temples. In the field of architecture, the Egyptians excelled in building temples and pyramids using sun-dried bricks and limestone. The construction of the pyramids, such as the Great Pyramid of Giza, required remarkable engineering skill, as stones were placed with great precision without the use of mortar. The walls were adorned with hieroglyphic inscriptions and vibrant colors that told stories of gods and pharaohs. These monumental structures were not only used for the worship of the gods but also to ensure the immortality of the kings in the afterlife. Each stage of the construction was carried out with meticulous care, using ramps to lift the heavy stones. The pyramids also contained secret passageways and alignment with the sun's movements in the sky, reflecting the Egyptians' deep connection with the gods. Each temple or pyramid had its own unique design, reflecting the religious and spiritual beliefs prevalent in that era. The Amarna period, the beginning of change in Egyptian art. During the Amarna period under King Akhenaten, Egyptian art took on a new form. Akhenaten was depicted differently from the traditional pharaohs, with a softer, more feminine body, marking a shift in the artistic style that prevailed in Egypt before and after this period. This period preceded the emergence of realistic portraiture that influenced the portrayal of human figures in Egyptian art. However, the Amarna period ended shortly after Akhenaten's death, and Egyptian art returned to its traditional forms, as though no change had occurred. Many of the buildings constructed during this period were destroyed and repurposed in new temples and structures. The Late Period, contemporary art between Egyptians and Greeks. In the Late Period, with the various invasions Egypt faced, first from the Persians and then from Alexander the Great, Egyptian art began to show influences from Greek Hellenistic art. During this period, Hellenistic influences began to appear in sculpture and art, especially in depictions of the goddess Isis and the Ptolemaic kings. Despite these influences, traditional Egyptian art remained present in temples and everyday artworks. Marble was one of the materials increasingly used in Ptolemaic art, even though it had to be imported from other regions, adding a new dimension to artistic designs. This period was a blend of authentic Egyptian art and foreign innovations, bringing more diversity to Egyptian art. Conclusion: ancient Egyptian art is more than just images and artifacts, it is a window into a world full of beliefs and rituals tied to the lives and deaths of the ancient Egyptians. If you enjoyed our journey into the world of Egyptian art, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell for all the latest updates on the history of art and ancient civilizations. See you in the next video. If you love this type of content and want to learn more about the secrets of ancient civilizations, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We would be happy to share more fascinating stories with you.